Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 223 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we thought it would be a great time to talk about, is this the market to buy a house in? And the answer is?
Let us show you some stats.
I like that. So in the last year or so, we've had a lot of conflicting information. So back in October, we had multiple sources telling us that, oh, look out, prices are going to drop 20% versus the peak in some markets. And that was what we saw multiple times, 15 to 20%. But today, now we can take and look and see what is actually happening in the market.
And in the first graph we're going to talk about, this is the home price appreciation year over year. And in January, appreciation was up 3.8% nationally. You can see there are a few markets that lost some value. San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, those are almost, they're all West Coast properties. Everywhere else in the country saw some form of appreciation. In the Dallas area, it was up by 5%.
Yep, and so if you take and look at that 5% and say based on a $400,000 home, that would actually mean that there's an increase year to $20,000. If you look at what it was nationally, because you see up in the right-hand corner, it says 3.8%. On a $400,000 home, that's only $15,200. So there is a pretty good jump if you're here in Dallas.
So that's just instant equity that you get over the course of ownership. It's one of the things that we talked about, how owning real estate really helps generational wealth.
Absolutely. So the next slide that we're going to talk about is going to be the one that talks about when homes actually came on the market. And as you can see on the national average, there was a decrease of 0.2% versus when it was last year. In the Dallas market, there was a decrease of 0.6% that came on the market.
And that really only equates to a small amount. Like nationally, that 0.2% on a $400,000 home is equal to about $800. Even in the Dallas area, where we had 3 times the amount of that drop, it only meant the house on a price on a $400,000 house came down to $2,400. It came down $2,400.
And that's why it's really great to actually take and turn a percentage into a dollar amount, because then it doesn't quite have the same zing sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
very, very true. And so now what we're hearing from a lot of media sources is like Black Knight's one of the companies that talks about they saw that home prices were down nationally 2.6% from their peak last year. Moody Analytics is the next one that they're showing in their home price index. They're down 2% from the peak last year. And even Freddie Mac has reported that their national home price index is only down about 2.5%.
So when you take and look at what that actually means is what you're spending on a monthly basis, let's take and look at what it would have been on a $400,000 house in October. You're roughly looking at a payment of about $2,000, and I believe that's $43 a month. Fast forward to now, we were like in the actual down market slightly. In January, you were talking about $1,807. So that's not nearly as scary as what they were predicting prior, when they were talking about 15 to 20% down.
Yeah, and stable interest rates have really stabilized now. We're at that just below 6.5%, where I think is almost all economists were talking about. And the really great thing about living in the Dallas area is the median household income versus the qualifying income. So in the U.S. nationally, you need about $86,000 to qualifying income to qualify for the median home in the marketplace, and the average income nationwide is $90,000.
So this is a lot of information we know, but the big takeaway is that this is a great market, especially when you're in Dallas and North Texas. These are markets that we see really strong job growth. There was an article that was in the Washington Post talking about what was happening in the pricing. And one of the things they said is one of the key indicators about how this is going to play out is markets that have strong job markets will see less impact on this as far as a decreasing and shrinking within these prices.
And as you can tell in this, the South in general,
correct,
is really is one of the best places to have that small difference.
It was interesting because, referencing that Wall Street Journal article again, Texas repetitively was one of the places where people were migrating to. Mm-hmm. So we're living in that wonderful golden triangle. If you don't know it, it's Texas, or it's Dallas, Austin, and Houston, and everything in between, that is where you should live if you're in Texas.
So we hope you found this helpful, or at least gathered some information about. It really is a pretty good time to start buying a house if you don't have one. And if there's any other subjects that you'd like us to cover, we'll be happy. Let me start that over again, just like when we're rolling out of that thing. So we hope you found this helpful. If you are considering buying a home, now is a really great time to do that. If we've got any other topics that you'd like for us to talk about, just put them in the comments below. We'll be happy to make that happen.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.
When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.